begin with Olivier and Juliette, because you had collaborated once before on the Summer Hours, and I guess that this film, the idea for making this film, for collaborating again, grew out of that first experience.
Yes. Yeah. Well, actually, it's two movies we collaborated on. I mean, and you know, I always make a point of mentioning it because we owe so much to André Téchiné, who was the director of Rendezvous. It's really the movie that made Juliette overnight a movie star, and it was like my first screenwriting credit. I worked with Olivier Assayas on that screenplay. So you know, I suppose that this movie has its roots there. I mean, also because that movie Rendezvous was an inspiration. It was an inspiration for Juliette. It was an inspiration for me when I was writing. I mean, we had it in a way or another in the back of our minds, and then it took us quite a while to finally make a movie together. I mean, we worked together on the Summer Hours, but it was an ensemble piece. It was it was possibly a bit frustrating because I think we both enjoyed so much the process of working together. But it was 10 days of shooting, or 15 days of shooting, 15 more. But I mean, you know, it was like an ensemble. Yeah, okay. But I mean, you know, it certainly gave us a sense that we wanted to go further than that. So you know, I suppose that Juliette was the first one to put in so many words. I mean, you know, she's the one who one day called me. Okay, so when are we making a proper film together?
And so, just give a sketch, a background of how this film took shape for both of you.
Well, one day, it was during summer actually, and I thought of an idea of going into the feminine. You know, we need the feminine badly in this world, and so I was thinking, who do I want to do this film with about the feminine? You know, daring it and writing for women. And so I thought about Olivier because in Summer Hours I felt like I missed you, you know, and so I called him and I said, you know, I have an idea about 3 characters and 3 parts and having different points of view, 3 different points of view. And Olivier was very open to it and said, well, let me think about it and give me 2 weeks, I'll write something and see at the end if something comes out of it. And then 2 weeks after he phoned and said, yeah, I think I have something. But meanwhile, I have to do, you know, another film, as he does, you know, like 2, 3 films. He's working mostly 2 or 3 films at the same time. And so he wrote a script. I had the script a year and a half afterwards, and I thought I provoked him, but actually at the end of the day, I felt he provoked me more than I did.
Kristen, what was it in the character that you connected with?
Initially, I got the offer to play Chloe's part, and it was something that I knew so well. I wasn't as interested in living it, and it was also very much from Maria's perspective, the way you got to know her and the way you got, you know, the impression that you get of her is fairly narrow, just because of the eyes that you see her through. And I wanted to really get into something. I wanted to play something that I had observed but not done. And I wanted to work with both of them, obviously. I had to rein in the glee on my face. I had to make sure that my cheeks weren't turning red and I wasn't brimming with hysterical laughter when I said some of the lines that I said in the movie, because I think that my position sort of, you know, just the life that I'm living and my experience sort of gave it this irony, and it just made it a bit more relevant and interesting, I think. More so than that, because I don't think the movie is a commentary on media, but I think, although it makes comments, I just think the relationship between these 2 women is so unique, and most of the scripts that I read, especially, you know, if you compare them to European filmmakers, we have a certain set of dynamics that are just reiterated. Like, I mean, it's incessant, it never stops. And so I saw this and I was like, wow, these people are everything to each other. You can't categorize the relationship, and I thought that was really cool. And yeah.
And I would imagine that you and Juliette had a lot of fun finding your rhythm together as actresses.
Yeah, I think we discovered the scene as we were going. And at the beginning we started rehearsing a little bit together, and then we felt that it was not helpful in a way. So, because Kristen's way of working is different than mine, and I think not knowing what the other was going to play or react was more interesting. And that's really what happened during the shooting, is that Olivier let us free, and that was the deal, you know, jumping into the unknown and discovering the scene and working through it, you know, because from the first take to the, you know, the seventh take, it's a different, you know, it's going deeper and deeper, and that was the chance of working with Olivier, because he loves not knowing, you know, letting it happen, and that's really his quality. And I really realized that he transformed it tremendously as a director from working with you in Summer Hours. There was a freedom in the way of directing or not directing that was actually very creative, and so every day was a bliss. Every day was like, oh wow, we're able to really get in and discover who we are, because we don't know before we actually do it.
Question.